Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Kirby1 and you're in the Twin Plains. And we're playing as Asphodel, turn 6, I believe, if I recall correctly. So let's see how expansion has been continuing on. Against this heavy cavalry province, we were completely clean. Very, very smooth battle. I think even the replay gives us a favorable outcome, which kind of surprises me, but I guess when it's just 10 heavy cav, they can take it, so that's great. And then as far as the other expansion that we had another 10 heavy cav, but this one not so great. We lost a couple of black centaurs, so the scripting was slightly off. Or, yeah, the formation location of the heavy cav was a bit wild, and then some of these black centaurs went on ahead and got surrounded by heavy infantry instead, unfortunately. And as far as Agartha, we predicted correctly that they would get in on here, and so he hit with his prophet. And so we now can see his bless here, which is a pretty wide rainbow bless. So this looks like an imprisoned pretender build of some kind. And this will be able to clear out 6 PD no problem. Kind of surprised that there's 6 PD. This is sort of like if Phlegra is going to fight over it, then he'll spend the gold to put PD in there. Maybe just forgot. Not sure about it. But, oh well. In any event, easy take for Agartha. We still don't really know from talking with any of the other players, which I didn't really do a whole lot of initially reaching out on my own. We still don't really know if Agartha and Phlegra are actually at war, or if they just gave it up, or how that whole situation is going. But we will be keeping an eye on it as we can. We got a couple of free gems and some patrolling. So yeah, next expansion is going to go here, here, and here. So we're aiming for a triple expand. And off of the backs of these double heavy cav clearing successes, we're moving right on into another heavy cav province right over here. This one is still got that line of chaff clearing or lance catching, and then a bunch of black centaurs in order to hopefully wipe out the cav first and then the heavy infantry. Then we've got the other cap circle provinces that we're going to clear as well this turn, and this will be just whatever black centaurs we have out of our cap and a bunch of mannequin chaff against just regular human troops. Should be pretty easy. I don't even see any cavalry situations in that scouting report. And then we've got Wolf Tribe. Now Wolf Tribe can be a little bit tricky for Asphodel because they are kind of lightly armored. Once you get the protection up a little bit from going berserk, you can do alright, and you've got good defense skills still. So I threw these guys in here, although my formation is still weird. I'm having them fire archers, so depending on which blob is bigger, the archers or the wolf tribe, maybe we can get one of them to rout and then cause a full HP rout of them. And then these guys will hit whoever tries to run up close to them. But also I care a lot less if these guys get killed, if the archers get killed, than if the black centaurs get killed. So right now we don't have enough gold to be recruiting anything in our fort anymore, or in our forests anymore. So what we've started to do is we're going to get our first panic apostate as well as even more black centaurs, and that will help us getting forts down. He can build labs and then cast the carrion fort spell, and these guys can build the temples wherever they're needed. One thing I did forget to mention the last video was that we picked up a free nature gem site without site searching, so that's great. And here we've also picked up a free air gem site. Also great, but a little bit less useful right now because we don't have any way of spending it. Actually, as far as the thrones go, yeah, we don't even have Throne of Air, so that might be sitting in our bank for a while. And as far as other interesting developments around the world, so first of all, with Agartha, we see they are still rather small, prompting me to sort of suspiciously think maybe they might be a good first rush target, but I'm not even really in that mode yet, still finishing expansion. And we're going to scout up here. We're just really broadening the map because the more black provinces we uncover from the Fog of War, the further our scouts can go whenever they're needed to track expansion movements, try and catch blesses, all that kind of stuff. And now here in the pond we see a Dracolich Pretender, which is going to be very interesting to deal with as far as Nazca goes. This is an awake Draco or Dracolich, and so yeah, that will be definitely impacting their bless some as well as their scales. We can see a little bit misfortune and cold and growth and magic, so, and their sloth as well. So interesting, very interesting thing to note. Now, another thing we should note is, even though I haven't been buying any mercenaries, other people have. So looks like Nazca is really pushing for research as well as using mercenaries to help their expansion. I suspect what happened was he came down this way and then across, and this must be a land province, or perhaps either a land province or another water province, but in any event, he's going to get the lake a lot faster than I will, which is a bummer because I can go into the pond as well. There's Shark Tribe here. That's going to be a problem for really everybody. And then this is just Triton, so he can clear those out pretty easily. I'm going to pop my scout here and see if he goes here to take that, and then maybe I can catch what his full bless is, because since he's awake, I'll know everything at this point. No secrets. Alright, so there we go with that. And we'll just go ahead and move on to the next turn, turn 7. So turn 7, we finally got a prophet out of Ind. DeFrank, I think, is a rename. It's not exactly a typical Ind name, so good on him. It'll be the Primate King, so he's got Holy 4 floating around somewhere now. And as far as our expansions go, this was a utter and dismal failure. Turns out 21 heavy cavalry as well as 33 heavy infantry can very easily take 11 black centaurs, so our lance catching line was not enough. Actually, they kind of hit at the same time, so it really... oh, well, we got them to rout. How many did we get off the field? Okay, we got basically all of them off the field. Oh wait, hang on. Interesting. So in this battle report, it did work out. Well, in reality, it didn't. So I guess it goes to show that if we had gotten a HP route on the heavy cavalry, we could have made it work. But I think whatever formation wound up happening and who caught the lances led to them all dying, and so we did not get that province. So super not great. That's our first failed expansion, but we're gonna try and make up for it. We're still doing another triple expand. As far... oh, I should go back and check the other one. So this one succeeded flawlessly, just a couple of chaff kills, although the carrion bear is kind of a waste because they would be a lot better off later on. And then against the wolf tribe, this worked out pretty cleanly, so there were a lot fewer wolf tribe warriors than there were archers, which is why we had our centaurs lose our centaur archers lose a couple. But the black centaurs, I think if we look at the battle, and again, it's not necessarily going to reflect what happened, but we hit the front line of the wolf tribe and pretty quickly rout them, which then allows the black centaurs to mop up pretty soon thereafter into melee with the archers. So that worked out pretty well. And then, yeah, as far as an event goes, we got a random stalker who decided to show up and join us. I don't really have anything good for him to do. He's not a great scout compared to our black harpies, but what I figured is he can go down into the caves and start sniping these cavemen commanders and then getting me a couple extra provinces down here for free. So we'll try that out. And yeah, back to expansion. So we're going to go here with this composition. So the way I'm sort of splitting it up is we're going to have these guys take the troops and move over here, and he's going to be the blesser for that. We're going to have this harpy take the troops and move over here, and he's going to be the blesser for that. And then this guy has ridiculous map move because of being larger and can take all of these guys and try and hit this province. So we're still doing a triple expand, and we will see how that goes. Now we had a lot of gold this turn because it's the second turn of recruitment for the Panic Apostates. So what I decided to do is a twofold decision. First off, black minotaurs are a lot more expensive gold-wise, so I'm using that opportunity to spend the gold on the more expensive ones. And second of all, I figure if we see one awake pretender already, could be more lurking around somewhere. Probably not Agartha, probably not Ind, and then maybe Phlegra, but we'll see. And then, yeah, so these guys, black minotaurs, are excellent super combatant or early pretender killers with their massive battle axe. So I figure it's a good idea to have a couple of them around. And then for expansion, maybe they can supplement some forces to do things like trampling over little squishy human troops. So we'll see about that. I think that's all. Yeah, we also were just spending the gold basically in our forests to be able to recruit a bunch of stuff. And then cataphracts are also a great supplement for our expansion and general army composition as well. That is all for right now. So yeah, our starting Minotaur is still alive, and he's able to move where I need him to go pick up troops, like back to our capital, and ferry them to wherever the blessers are going to be in this sort of composition like I have here. So yeah, let's move on to the next turn, turn 8. Alright, turn 8, and we're gonna see what our expansion looks like. This one went well, although it was pretty costly. Don't like losing black centaurs. But let's see. Yeah, it's a lot of Vinemen. The problem with Vinemen is you have to kill them all, especially since they're a front line, unless you get something lucky like this where you can kill a bunch of these guys and cause them to rout. That was good for us. And yeah, then you have to just sort of stomp the rest of them. So that worked out well enough. At least we took the province. And if I recall correctly, this is actually a cave entrance as well, so that'll be good for us getting down into the second plane, the sandwich plane, if you will. Now this one as well went very smoothly, so no worries there. And then as far as this one goes, it did not go smoothly, and we lost 7 more black centaurs. We killed a lot of the wolf tribe, as you can see, but this was a heavy concentration of wolf tribe warriors, so that's pretty unfortunate. A lot more than the last province was, and we didn't have any archers to supplement this force. It was sort of like a greed play, where I had the harpy bringing them in and having this guy cast the blessing. Yeah, some of them snuck around. Oh no, but we got them to rout. It's just okay, yeah, so it's one of those things, again, where it could have gone either way. If you get them to rout, then you can make it work, but in reality, we did not get it to work. Bad event, misfortune, giving us unrest, unfortunately, so there you go. But yeah, so this is our cave entrance, and we've got some long dead end ghouls, so I'm not in any rush to get this because this is just going to be a very low population province already. So we'll leave that be. This guy will sort of breach us into the caves, and we'll worry about that later. So we're here, and we're going to follow up and clear this out for real this time. And yeah, our expansion is slowed down a little bit just because of how many losses we've had, unfortunately. That is our greed play that we've been sort of trying out and having it work sometimes against these lucky only 10 heavy cavalry provinces, and sometimes not in the case of much larger provinces. So black centaurs are good, but not infallible. And we've seen Nazca, and actually I didn't look at the battle last turn, but we got to see them this turn. So as far as their bless goes, it's basically just undying and mending bones, and we actually get to see his Draco Lich here as well in play, and it's got cloud trapeze paths, so that can be a problem later on. Got to keep an eye on that. And he's Death 5, so there you go. Big fear. That will be less of a problem for our mannequins, but then again, our mannequins will not do super great against him just because the fatigue damage is irrelevant to him. So yeah, it'll be tricky. I think we can still make it work with Black Minotaurs, especially if we can do something like hitting them with something to make them go berserk, like Touch of Madness. Touch of Madness is in Thaumaturgy here. Nature, right there, Thaumaturgy 4. So I might consider going for that in a sort of unorthodox manner, depending on what my war priority targets wind up being. So we can see now Agartha has gone down this way, and I'm setting up my scouts in places, like I said, once I've uncovered the map, to sort of lie in wait and see how expansion goes for people. So as we see, his capital is right here. We know he has this and this, and he's gone down here. So we're going to watch and see how long it takes him to take these provinces. And then what else? We're going to go here and see if anybody has taken this, if it's maybe Phlegra, or perhaps Nazca has taken this. And then, yeah, we're going to go up here, see if Ind has gotten down this way. And this is a little bit of a funny one. He can technically go all the way over here because it's wraparound, but it looks like the map is blocked. But yeah, in any event, that'll just be uncovering more of the provinces for us. Now, it should be a Phlegra province if we go down here, but we can see next turn if he's decided to start putting up a fort or something like that, sort of gauge how much gold he's spending on infrastructure versus on troops. And that can also make us have a little bit of help deciding what to do with our first war. And so yeah, I'm moving out our first Panic Apostate in order to start putting up a fort over in this province. We'll get up the infrastructure, temple followed by lab, and then we'll start forting the other forests. And we're already recruiting our second one because we've got enough nature gems that we're starting to be able to get to that point where we can do 2 at a time. Now, there aren't really any other good forests outside of these ones that I've taken, which is sort of weird. Like, this whole area is empty of forests, this whole area is empty, and Ind already has this, and Nazca has this. Nazca's a forest in and of itself, so there you go. I guess I could have spawned here in theory. But yeah, so we're just waiting and seeing how things go. I think I can probably take this with these guys because there's no heavy cav there, and we are sending a big angry force to exact violent revenge upon the wolf tribe. This should clear this out pretty easily. I think we have time for one more, so let's go ahead and hit turn number 9 and call it after that one. So turn 9, just to double expand this turn. And we've got one black centaur loss here, but otherwise not that bad. And yep, took this cleanly. Again, this was what we fail expand into, so there was a lot less to deal with, and the black centaurs rolled over it. It's a little bit satisfying to see black centaurs in action. They just hit human-sized troops and literally just walk all over them. And they're dead. And the misfortune taketh and the misfortune giveth, and we got some gold, 69. Nice. Speaking of 69 nature gems as well. So we basically have enough this turn to put down 2 grow fortresses if we had set up the infrastructure for it, but that means we'll be prepping for that. We'll go here and then here and then here. So we're putting a lab down, and then he'll cast it next turn, and we're going to put the temple and lab down there, and we're doing another round of black minotaurs with the extra gold that we've got, and we've really got a lot of gold now because of picking up some very valuable provinces. This one's 200, this one's 130, so we're basically getting archers out of every single one of our forests to supplement our centaur warriors and our black minotaurs. And then from now on we'll be spending our gold on mages out of our extra forts and things like that. Now it's very interesting to note, as far as Agartha goes, that he still hasn't taken his final cap circle province, so I'm not sure which direction he's going. It could be he's going down this way, or it could be he's circling around this way. I know he would want to go down into the caves for sure, so this is probably a cave entrance right here. And based on the interaction that has gone on between Agartha and Phlegra, just from them not looking like they're fighting and not having really big forces or battles in their border areas, they probably came to an amicable agreement on it, and so I haven't really seen anything to suggest otherwise. Looks like he's not started a fort quite yet, but could be in the works later, so we'll see. As far as what else is going, this is a Barb's province, so that's a nice choke point for us one way or another. It's probably scared off Nazca's Draco Lich, and so that's why he didn't go there. And this is also still independent, so we're going to wait and see if anybody takes this. And yeah, so Nazca's sort of got this little area on lockdown, and I think Phlegra is going to be sort of right along this borderline right here, so we'll see if there's any tension there. And then they'll also have a north-south border right over here as well somewhere, but these provinces are all still indies. Now these ones are going to be suspicious just because Ind is Ind, and so we don't actually know if his dominion is in here or not, and he might have taken these already, but he certainly hasn't taken this, and neither has Nazca, so we should keep an eye on that, but it'll be really interesting to see how long it takes and what he takes his cap circle with. So I'm moving that over there, and then I'll bounce back and forth. And I also want to see if he does move in here, because if he does, then I won't worry about it, but if he doesn't, maybe I can come down and sneak swipe this as well. And we're also trying to see if Agartha and Ind bump over this, because they could potentially both be going for it at the same time. So yeah, it's still a little early for people to be claiming thrones, but there's a couple that I could potentially reach. This one. Now there's a water one here, which is Shark Tribe and Amber Clan, so I'll really have to plan for that one because these guys can be really tough to deal with, but I can potentially go for it. And then yeah, we are going to exact bitter revenge upon the heavy cavalry province that did us wrong earlier on in this video, and we are sending lots and lots of black centaurs and a bunch of mannequins as lance catchers, and we moved them a little bit farther forward so that they definitely can't catch the lances this time. And then as backup, we're moving up these guys, and then they can either, if this fails again, clear that out, probably no problem, or go this way, and then from here maybe we can go this way, and we'll see. Oh yeah, and Ind expanded here, so if we didn't know it already, now we know. There's his Bless with extra heroism, dark vision, defense skill. Now if this is imprisoned, there is probably some other secret surprise going on here, but if there is, we don't know it quite yet. And so yeah, I think that's all. We still haven't even touched on research yet, just because of what we've been doing as far as how we've been expanding and what we've been using our mages for. And one last look at mercs. So yeah, Nazca's still buying most of them and using them for his expansion. Alright, there we go. And building a lab here. Yeah, so I think I've gone over everything. Still don't know what I want to do for my first war, but it's sort of looking like Agartha because of how small they are. Now they could have gone down into the caves and gotten a little bit bigger, but it's very, very tempting. I'm right there. I could just go swoop in this way because this is a swamp, so I could just swing around here and move very, very quickly, or even go through this way and be on his cap in no time, but I haven't decided yet. There's still plenty of land to expand into, so I'll worry about that for now, and it'll be really interesting to keep an eye on everyone. We're getting harpies everywhere, so I'm going to be very, very keen on watching what other people on the surface level decide to do as far as first wars and stuff like that goes. So, there you are. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back next time with Turn 10.